Yes guys, Max here, back again with a brand new video. And yes, I've been gone for a few weeks, and no, I wasn't hiding after the Manchester derby defeat. I'm not like that. I'm not that type of person. I've just been really busy, that's all it really is, to be fair. That's the only excuse I've got this time. But today we're back with another tier list video. We're going to be ranking every single Premier League goalkeeper. I say every single, I've got 20. There's obviously a few teams this season that I've used 2, but I've just gone with the keeper that's played the most times, or their first choice keeper at the minute, sort of thing. Let's get into the tiers. At the top, we're back with the world class category. We've got the very good, decent, meh, and at the bottom, we've got horror. Kicking things off with Sam Johnstone of Crystal Palace. He's been quite good this season. I mean, they signed Dean Henderson as well. He's barely played. He got injured in a Carabao Cup game against Man United, so that's the only 10-15 minutes he's played this season. Sam Johnstone, however, has established that #1 shirt at Crystal Palace. He's obviously being called up to England now, so for me, he's a decent goalkeeper. He's got to go into decent. From one goalkeeper to the next, Jordan Pickford. In the Premier League for Everton, I still think he is a decent goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong. For England, he's probably very good / world class, because he's unbelievable for England. It's a bit weird, actually. But for Everton, you know, sort of scrapping around the relegation zone all the time, Everton have actually come into a bit of form, and he's been down to that recently. So, yeah, he's going to go in the decent. We've got 2 England goalkeepers in the decent category to kickstart. Next up, Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson. For me, best goalkeeper in the world. Definitely best goalkeeper in the Premier League. He's going into the world-class category. I don't need to say much more. He can play with his feet. He's got the calibre of saves in his locker as well. He's unbelievable. For me, the best goalkeeper in the world, like I said, so has to go in world class. Mark Flecken of Brentford. I'm going to put him in the meh. From what I've seen of him, I'm not really sure what to make. He's come in with a decent reputation, being a decent goalkeeper in the Bundesliga, but so far in the Premier League, dropped a few clangers here and there, mistake after mistake. He's okay. He could push to the decent category, but from what I've seen, I'm putting him in the meh. Jose Sarr, for me, is a decent goalkeeper. I don't think he's better than Pickford or Sam Johnstone, so he's going to go 3rd so far. For Wolves, he's coming to a bit of form as well, like Wolves have as a team. Gary O'Neill working wonders there. A lot of teams have put a lot of people have put Wolves to get relegated at the start of the season. I don't see that happening. But yeah, Jose Sarr. He's been there, for a few seasons now. He replaced Rui Patricio, and he's actually been decent, so that's why he's in the decent category. Matt Turner of Nottingham Forest. I'm going to put him in the horror category. I don't think he's a great goalkeeper. If America are going to use him as his first choice in, the World Cup in a few years, it's like 3 years away yet, so I don't know why I'm talking about the World Cup. But obviously his place has been taken over now by the Greek goalkeeper Odysseas Vlachodimos. He's come in as the new #1, I think, at Nottingham Forest now. 2 games he's played now over Matt Turner. So I think Steve Cooper sort of changed his mind. Matt Turner, again, few clangers here and there. I don't personally rate him. Didn't really rate him at Arsenal as a backup. He's gone on for first team football at Forest, and it's not really working there either, is it? So he's going in the horror category. Next up, we're going for James Trafford. And for me, I hate to do this, but I'm putting him in the horror category as well. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like him because of what he did at the Under-21 World Cup, was it? Or was it the Euros just gone with England? He was a very good goalkeeper there, let's just admit that. But, again, for Burnley, he was a League One goalkeeper with Bolton last season, and he's come with a big £20 million move to Burnley. He could come good, but so far, Burnley are bottom of the Premier League, the worst team in the division by far. He's letting in loads of goals. He can't be any higher than horror. He's not really showing me why he's worth 20 million. I know he's going to struggle to do that at Burnley, but again, I've just not seen anything amazing of him apart from that Under-21 tournament in the summer. But yeah, with a big 20 million price tag, leaving Man City. He was a League One goalkeeper last year, and he's come straight into the Premier League, and he's not really adapted. Ederson, for me, I'm going to put him in very good, because I don't think he is world class. Maybe he could be, actually. That might be a bit harsh. I just think there's not many goalkeepers that are going to be on the same level as Alisson. Alisson may have that category himself. It might just be his category, to be fair. I'm looking at the rest of the goalkeepers here. I'm not too sure if any of them will leap or get into the same category as Alisson, because I think he is leaps and bounds ahead of everyone. Neto of Bournemouth, I'm going to put him in meh. I think he's better than Flecken from what I've seen. Again, they struggled. Bournemouth conceded 6 goals against City the other week without Neto in goal. I'm not saying they wouldn't have scored 6 if Neto was in there, but I think he is a leader. He's the captain of Bournemouth. So for me, he's going in the meh category. I think we've seen decent saves of him. We've seen what he could do at Bournemouth last season as well. So yeah, for me, he's going in the meh category. As Fotheringham of Sheffield United, I'm going to put him in the horror category. I don't think he's great at all. I mean, for me, he could be the worst on here. I think he is. I think I'm going to put him bottom of this whole tier list. He's not going to move from there, I don't think. Nothing against him as a person, obviously, because I don't know him. I don't think he's watching either. I just think Sheffield United, they're going to concede loads of goals. I think they do need a goalkeeper. I think that's one of the main positions they do need. Robert Sanchez of Chelsea. I'm going to put him in the decent. I don't think he's better than Sam Johnston personally, or Pickford, so he's going to go sort of there in the decent category. I think, you know, he must be decent. He was quite good at Brighton, but he's always got that mistake in him. He can make some strong saves. His distribution's quite good. But, again, there's always them sort of mistakes he has. His catching's not great. Sometimes his kicking can be wayward and kick it straight to the opposition. The opposing team, sorry. So again, I don't really know about Robert Sanchez yet. He needs to prove his worth and why he's going to be the number one at Chelsea for years to come. Vicario of Tottenham, I think it might be early days, but I'm putting him in very good. From so far this season, I think obviously he's taken over Hugo Lloris, who's had that number one shirt at Tottenham for what, 7 or 8 years, maybe even longer now at Spurs. So Vicario has come in with not really a big reputation, as he's come from Empoli in Serie A. What is that fly doing? Get out my way. Like I said, he's come in and he's really adapted to the Premier League quite well. He's getting a lot of plaudits from people, from fans. So for me, he's a very good goalkeeper, I'd say. Emiliano Martinez, apparently the best goalkeeper in the world. He won that award, obviously, the other week. The best goalkeeper, the Ballon d'Or ceremony, let's just call it that. For me, he's definitely not the best goalkeeper in the world. He's a very good goalkeeper. He probably is better than Vicario right now. But again, like Robert Sanchez, he's always got the mistakes in him. He's not he's not prone to a mistake. He's always got them in him. We've seen it a few times this season as well. As good as Aston Villa have been, Martinez has let a few clangers in. Jason Steele of Brighton. You know what? I'm going to put him top of meh. I think he's actually quite good. I think obviously he's a late bloomer to the Premier League, really. What is he? He's getting into his early 30s now, and he's only just started playing regular football in the Premier League. They've obviously got a young goalkeeper, Bart Verbruggen, as well, but he's come through. Jason Steele's played more minutes, so I've decided to put him in the tier list instead. And for me, he's been all right. I mean, for Brighton, I mean, they can literally swap. They can change the goalkeeper whenever they want. Sometimes that might not work, though, you know, swapping your goalkeeper every week. Andre Onana of Manchester United. I'm going to put him in decent. I'm going to put him top of decent. I think he struggled. I made a video on him and Manchester United as a whole earlier on in the year. And yeah, he was struggling quite heavily. Distribution wasn't there. He was obviously dropping the ball loads of times. He couldn't hold it. The saves he was making, parrying it straight to the opposing team. But the last few weeks, he's sort of coming to his own. A big penalty save at home to Copenhagen. Many more saves he's made in the Premier League. Another clean sheet to add to his collection against Luton. So he is picking up clean sheets. He is making decent saves. He's saving penalties. He's sort of adapting to the Premier League a bit now. He is probably a very good goalkeeper on the whole, but in terms of what we've seen in the Premier League this season, I'm putting him in the decent category. I do think he is a very good goalkeeper though. I mean, we've seen it at Inter Milan, we've seen it at Ajax. He is capable of being at the highest level. Bernd Leno, for me, is also a decent goalkeeper. He's going second behind Onana. Again, he could push towards very good as well, because Leno's done it for a while now. He did it at Leverkusen. He started doing it at Arsenal before he eventually got dropped by Martinez. But yeah, I think Leno is a very good goalkeeper. He's been very good for Fulham, one of Fulham's better players, so to say, this season. David Raya of Arsenal. Oh, it's a tough one here. I've included him over Ramsdale because he is Arsenal's number one at the minute. I think he's a decent keeper as well. Is he better than... I don't know, you know. David Raya, I don't think he's better. I'm putting him there. I'm putting him in decent. Again, I've not seen anything amazing of him. I think Ramsdale would also be in the decent category here if we were to rank that as well. But I think Raya is just a little bit better than Ramsdale. And I think he has the potential to be a very good goalkeeper. He's only 27, 28 years old. That for an outfield player is probably about 23, 24, just coming into the prime. So goalkeepers obviously have that age advantage there. Thomas Kaminski of Luton. I'll put him in meh because so far Luton haven't really conceded many goals. They've actually had a decent defence this season. They are still conceding, but they're not getting battered as much as I thought. And he's quite good. He was quite good against United. These other games he's been very good at, Liverpool in particular as well. So I'll put him bottom of meh. The penultimate one, Areola. I think he's a decent goalkeeper as well. Is he better than... I don't think he is. We'll put him there, Areola. I mean, he's only just started becoming a first teamer at West Ham now after Fabianski. Obviously, he's getting old a bit. He's not really playing as much. Areola's coming to the first team. Moyes trusts him. And he's starting to get more minutes. We saw him, he was quite good at Fulham a few years ago, remember, when they got relegated. And he's coming to West Ham now. And he's starting to adapt and cement himself as that number one at West Ham United. And finally, Nicholas Pope. Oh, Newcastle fans don't really like me because I always criticise the players. Pope, he is a decent keeper. Let's just say that. He probably is better than Areola. He's going to go in there, though. He's not going to go much better. I think a lot of Newcastle fans maybe put him higher. I think he's really, really poor with the ball at his feet. He makes up with it with some of the saves, but again, some of the saves, he's like, you think he could catch it, he parries it straight back.